The actor's popularity is evanescent, applauded today, forgotten tomorrow. Edwin Forrest was born in Philadelphia on March 9, 1806. He was the impoverished runaway son of a Scottish squire, and the daughter of middle-class German immigrants. He is generally acknowledged as the first star and tragedian of American stage. He was educated at the common schools in Philadelphia, but beyond that he had little formal education. Unlike most, his theatrical debut came about quite by accident. It was the year 1817. The manager of the Southwark Theatre, noting Forrest's attractiveness, asked him to substitute for an ailing actress in the small role of Rosina in The Robber of Calabria. The experience made such an impression on him that he started studying elocution, and formed a thespian club, all to the deep grief of his venomous mother. At the age of 15, a stage-struck young Forrest attended many theatrical performances where he studied the acting of Thomas A. Cooper, Edmund Kean, and Junius Brutus. Within 6 years he was acting with all of them. After several seasons of this hard life touring a rough country with the inconveniences of long journeys, playing in rude halls, and poor scenery, he made his New York debut as a fellow in July 1826 of the Park Theatre. These performances launched him on a then unparalleled career of critical success and public renown. What the critics and playgoers witnessed was unlike anything they had seen before. Forrest's power derived mainly from his commanding physique. He stood 5 feet 10 inches tall with a noticeably muscular build. He always favored roles which allowed him to display his massive arms and legs, that on stage made him appear like a giant. Combined with a magnetic presence, a deep, penetrating voice, sardonic good looks, his acting was an overwhelming experience. Starting in 1828 and continuing until 1847, he offered prizes for new American plays with preferably American themes. First prize went to John Augustus Stone for Metamora, which soon became one of Forrest's most popular vehicles. Other winners over the years included Richard Penn-Smith's Keyes Marcus, 3 plays by Robert Montgomery Bird, The Gladiator, or Aluzo the Broker of Bogota, and Robert T. Conrad's Jack Cade. Of these, only The Gladiator, with Forrest as Spartacus, and Jack Cade endured along with Metamora in Forrest's repertory. The well-intentioned contest also added to the actor's increasingly questionable personal reputation, as he was accused of not paying money owed to several of the playwrights. Afterwards, he traveled to Europe for rest and relaxation and was received with much courtesy by actors including William Charles Macready and scholars. Continuing to grow as an artist, he added a number of major roles to his repertory including King Lear, Hamlet, Macbeth, and Virginius. He married Catherine Norton Sinclair, daughter of John Sinclair the popular singer, in June 1837. He returned to Philadelphia in November of that year and began an engagement. When he was at the height of his career, 2 incidents occurred which further tarnished his reputation. While at the Princess Theatre he met with great success as Virginius and other parts, but when he attempted Macbeth, a character unsuited to his physique and style of acting, the audience hissed the performance. He attributed this to the professional jealousy and machinations of William Charles Macready. A few weeks later, when Macready was playing Hamlet in Edinburgh, Forrest stood up in his private box and hissed the English actor. This act of spiteful resentment evoked contemptuous reproaches from the British press and destroyed the respect in which the public had held him. Then in May 1849, when Macready was acting Macbeth at the Astor Place Opera House in New York, the friends of Forrest interrupted the performance. Things snowballed out of control, coming to a head in the bloody Astor Place riots in which 23 died and hundreds were injured. Forrest almost certainly had a hand in provoking this incident. In 1851, a second event leading to his wane in popularity was the divorce from his wife. After a 2-year court battle during which time each had quite publicly, and probably accurately, accused the other of infidelity. In Forrest's case, his affair with Josephine Clifton had become public knowledge. The court decided in favor of Mrs. Forrest on all points, and Forrest left the courtroom a defeated and injured man. His appearance as Damon for 60 nights, exceeding anything known in the theatre's history, did nothing to soften a temper soured by domestic sorrow. In 1853 he played Macbeth at the Broadway Theatre for 4 weeks, an unprecedented run at that date, and at the end of this engagement, he retired for several years. He became interested in politics, and was touted as a possible candidate for Congress. But he was back on the boards again in 1860 when he appeared as Hamlet at Niblo's Garden, New York, at the age of 54, in what turned out to be the most successful engagement of his life. But with increasing age, sameness in the repertory and failing health were getting the better of him. In 1865, he developed a malignant form of hereditary gout, and during an engagement in Baltimore the sciatic nerve was paralyzed and he never regained the use of his hand or his steady gait. A California tour in 1866 was a failure, and during his last New York engagement in 1871, where he played Richelieu and Lear, the houses were nearly empty. His last appearance as an actor came on March 25, 1871 at Boston's Globe Theatre as Lear. The craving for public applause, which was his only happiness, induced him to give reading from Shakespeare in several large cities. The scheme failed, and was abandoned, to his deep mortification. A stroke ended his life suddenly and without pain on December 12, 1872. His servant found him dead, alone, and apparently asleep in his home in Philadelphia at the age of 66. Today we remember his legacy. For one's torment is another's lesson. The actor's popularity is evanescent, applauded today, forgotten tomorrow. Edwin Forrest.
Hello, public, long-lost friend. He lived his life to the bitter end because of broken, lost relations. Went and killed his reputation and his vision of a cherished, lasting fame. He ruined his name. Edwin Forrest, the tyrant. In early years he tried to hold acting techniques of the friends he'd known, working towards a greater good cause. He gained praise and great applause when he caught folks' eyes, a fellow under the Park Theatre lights. He shined so bright. Edwin Forrest, the giant, and with his newfound right to call for new works like Metamora, traveling round all of Europe, back home to Philadelphia. Macbeth, but his talent just wasn't there, and critics said Edwin Forrest was silent. He said, "I'm a grace to play." So in turn he tried to shake. Thus began the Astor Place riots, and left his wife due to his bias. Infidelity, like an imperialist kingdom, fell and succumbed to hell. Thus began his defiance, and he tried to torch Shakespeare, or others like the plague did. But his life had went snowballing. Down he went, he lost his calling. With a stroke he died on a cold long December night, alone in life. Famous Forrest resigned.